It's funny, there's always buses over there and no one.
You stole my heart of gold after my silver soul.
Today I'm pretty tired. I just finished playing water polo, which, yeah, I mean, we're not so good in the team, to be honest. I mean, especially like I started like, yeah, playing water polo like a year ago, a little bit less, even like in September. It's pretty like we really need to improve because, yeah, we win like kind of like half of the matches, and yeah, I mean, the goal is that we win all of them at some point. But that's not what I want to talk about in this video. In this video I want to talk about the concept of shape, the concept of form, which is basically, or we can even call it the concept of frame. And that is because like yesterday I encountered into a couple of situations, also today actually. So one yesterday and one today, which is the idea that in some situations, right, if you're, for example, you're in a match and you do a left fold to one of your opponents or like to some player, and actually it's not a fold. Like today I the opponent, he hit my arm, and then the referee didn't see it, or like, but I mean it was a clear fault, and I was like, you didn't see it. Like, I mean, I didn't say anything, but I was like, you haven't seen he did that? And then I had to defend, and I defended a little bit harder, and then the referee told me to get out from the I mean, it was a fault, so then I had to stay like on the side and then play in the next offensive attack from us, right? So it was peace, because yeah, I mean, probably in the second attempt from me it was fault, but also the previous one. So like by him creating, so by him not seeing the previous fault, created a behavior of me like, okay, then that's not fault, I'm gonna defend harder and stronger. And then in that situation it was fault for me. So the idea of this is that you can actually, this kind of stuff you cannot control. You don't have the control about deciding either if it's fault or either if it's not fault. So because he has the shape, the form of the situation, he defines the frame. And that's something that in so many situations in life, you're playing, actually in that situation you're playing by his or her frame. And same happens when you're like driving, for example, or like on the road, and then maybe you're driving a little bit faster, or maybe you're not just doing anything which is like out of the normal, right? Like killing someone, or like doing like so many faults about like, yeah, like not respecting some signals like stops, or yeah, you know, like not driving, clearly not driving properly. In the situations, yeah, the police might come to you and say, hey, what the f are you doing? But at the end of the day, in that situation, the police has a frame. You have to respect his frame or her frame, and that's how it is, and you have to respect it. And then at the same time, I also encountered about another situation yesterday, which, I mean, in that case, he also had the frame, but that could be something that could be like discussed, because it was like, there was kind of like some gap on like, okay, but yeah, you know, like I need to, because the situation was basically that I had to go to a festival kind of, and I had my bag with my camera and all the stuff, right? Because I wanted to record some stuff on the festival, like, yeah, like some street interview or stuff like that. That was basically my main reason why I had that bag. But the thing is that I could not enter anything on the festival, and I mean, I didn't know anything like that. Like, it didn't say that on the webpage that you cannot, because I thought I could leave that by the, I don't know, inside the festival, like in the wardrobe or something like that. But I did not confront him. He was like, in Sweden it's called like backed, so it's like security guard, and I did not confront him or anything like that, like saying, I mean, I could, because he actually asked me, is your home really far away from here? Like in that case I was like, yeah, it's far, I live like half an hour, 40 minutes from here, so I mean, it would be nice if you allow me to get in. But in that situation I did not confront him, or like be a little bit more like, how to say it, insisting. I was not insisting on, hey, like can I get in with my bag? Hey, can I get in with my bag, please? Because he was even taller than me, and he was also bigger when it comes to, you know, like body and stuff. So like it kind of gave me a lot of respect in that sense when it comes to like the job he was doing, and I did not say like anything kind of like, okay, maybe we could do an exception or something like that. Because then I also saw someone else that had a smaller bag, and yeah, you know, she was passing with the bag to her friends, and then she could get in without any issue. So this is something that it does happen in life, and sometimes I did realize about that in some situations, and it's important to establish this kind of shape or like form or frame with other people in case you do have the opportunity, because then it's going to be better for you in your life and in different situations that you might encounter. But of course, do it with reasoning, do it with like that it makes sense to do that, you know, because if you don't have anything to show, or like, yeah, for example, in the as like the police and you, like if you do something wrong, you have to pay for that. I mean, same if you are trying to avoid taxes, then the police will come to you and will say like, hey, you're trying to avoid taxes, this is wrong, you should not do that, you know. So in that situation they have the frame and you have to accept it, because that's something illegal. And same happens when driving with a car super fast, for example. And at the end of the day, sometimes as well with your friends or with women, sometimes some people might do something that you don't like. And I'm not saying that you should impose your frame to your friends or to your girlfriend or to any woman that you meet, because that sometimes might lead to toxic behaviors. But if you think that this is really like it should be like that for you, because it's like a red line, you know, like something like a boundary for you. Hey, if you're doing something like that, I don't know, for example, with a friend, in case your friend talks bullshit about you and you know that, you should have that conversation with him. Like, hey, I think you're bringing bullshit to me. You're saying bullshit stuff to other people, not in front of me, like behind my back. And that's something that I cannot with that. And you have to avoid, you should stop doing that. And do it firmly, do it sure about yourself or what you're doing, because that's a boundary for you. And that person, you should know that you're not really okay with what he or she is doing. And that's a clear way to gain self-respect for you, and also that others respect you. And the other way around, if you're doing bullshit to other people and saying shit, or like you're creating you're having some toxic behaviors with different people, like with friends, with women, with girlfriend, with whatever, and she or he tells to you and you're like, yeah, that's true, I should not do that, then do it, like, yeah. And then in that situation, whenever he or she is trying to like draw a line, like a boundary, in order to avoid problems in the future, then that's a good moment to also bring your boundary. For example, in case your friend is trying to bring shit to you, or like in case, for example, your friend talks trash to some specific people, or like some friends that you have in common, then if you, for example, are or have been talking trash about some specific friend with other friends that you all have in common, and he realizes about that, tells to you, then that's a good moment to say, okay, yeah, I understand, I apologize for doing that, but I also want that you don't talk trash about me to other people, because I feel that you've been doing that in the past. And then that's perfect, the boundary is clear, between you and your friend, and it's perfect, because then from that moment onwards, the friendship with your friend is going to become much more healthy. And same exactly happens with women. If she tells, because you have some behaviors that are not okay with her, and she tells you, then it's the perfect moment to also bring your not okays, your boundaries with her. And same the other way around, if you start the conversation and she's doing the same. Because in that situation, the boundary, the line, it's super set. And then from that moment onwards, it's gonna be perfect relationship when it comes to that specific boundary that you're setting between you and that girl that you're seeing, that woman, that future girlfriend or even that friend. I mean, it doesn't really matter in the end of the day. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I think that was a good video to talk about. I mean, it's quite sad that I could not do this video on the festival, on like talking like to random people and also asking them questions. But remember, I also have another channel, Northern Answers, and that's basically where I try to post these kind of interviews, like street interviews about asking people all different stuff from the Nordic countries or like from other countries in the north of Europe. So remember to subscribe here to Friendly Talking in case you haven't done that yet, and here up here to see the last upload on the channel, which was yesterday, on why it's not that easy to date in Sweden as a foreigner, as an expat, as an international student, as a guy or as a man, or however you want to call it. Stay friendly.